As an organization owner or administrator, you can create new processes or edit existing ones. To start building a new process, in the main menu, select Modules, then Processes, and click Build Process. There are 3 ways to create a process. Create new process, build the process from scratch using the Process Designer. Use Template. Choose one of the available templates and adjust it to your needs. Upload file. Use this option when you already have a process definition file, for example, from another organization, and want to import it here. For this example, let's choose the first option, Create New Process. In the next view, we choose which of the 2 types of processes we want to create. If the process should start with adding a file, and this file is required for the workflow, select the first option. The process will begin by uploading a file. Common examples of this type include invoices, incoming correspondence, or contract acceptance. If we want to create a form-based process, select the second option. In this case, the process starts by opening a form that the user fills out directly without needing to preview a file. Typical examples of form-based processes include purchase requests, support requests, or holiday requests. No matter which type of process you choose, document files can still be added as attachments. For this example, we'll create a simple holiday request process, so select the second option. In this view, we define the basic parameters of the process and choose an icon that will help identify it more easily. The selected icon doesn't need to be directly related to the process and can be changed later. Next, we enter a name for the holiday request process. This name must be unique within the organization. Process names cannot be duplicated. Let's name the first activity. And click Next. Here, we create forms using the DueX Form Builder. We create forms using either simple fields or extensions. Simple fields include elements like text, text area, number, date, or attachment. Extensions are more advanced components such as section descriptions, user data, tables, or dictionaries. Let's start by adding the first field to our form. We want to capture user information, so we'll use the user data extension. Click Save. Next, we'll add the position field. This time, we'll use a simple text field. Every field needs a unique name. You can use multiple fields of the same type in one form, but each must have a different name. If you want to make this field mandatory, set Required to Yes. We use non-editable when adding a field that should not be modified by the person completing the form, for example when assigning external numbering, retrieving a date, or adding accounting numbers. Marking a field as non-editable is useful only when the form will be connected to an external service that fills the field automatically, such as through a button extension. The field key is used for conditional control. If you're not using conditional control, leave this parameter empty. Remember that conditional control is available only in the Pro Business version. Specifying the display value identifier is required if you want to use this field in the display value extension. In the onChange URL field, you can enter a URL that should be executed whenever the field's value changes. Now, let's add a position field. Next, we'll add a date range field. Choose the field type, enter the field name, and mark it as required. Save the field. Next, we add the comments field. This will be a text area. Click Save to add the field to the form. When your form is ready, click Next and add another activity. Set the parameters for this activity and enter the form name. Finally, specify the amount of time, in hours, allowed for completing this activity. If we want to allow additional time for completing an activity, we can use the number of retries feature. The default value is 0, which means that if a task isn't completed within the allotted time, it will either return to the previous activity or end at the current one. If we set the number of retries to 1, the user gets 1 additional cycle, giving them another 72 hours to complete the task. Each time the user fails to complete a task with retrees enabled, they will receive an email notifying them that extra time has been granted. If other people in the organization should also be informed about the missed deadline, use the Escalate to option. If the process you're creating can be completed before all activities are finished, select Yes in the process can be ended at this activity section. If a specific user should normally complete this activity, you can set them in the default user field. The last field in this form is webhooks. This option is mainly useful for advanced users when programming actions that should occur after the activity is completed. Click Next. Now let's build the acceptance form. This form will consist of two fields. The first one will be a Yes/No field. Accept the request. Mark it as required and save the field. The second field will be Comments, added as a text area field. When the form is ready, click Next and choose Add another activity. The next activity will be registration in HR. Leave the completion time as it is and don't set any retrees. If the task isn't completed on time, it should simply return to the previous step without escalation. The process can be completed at this activity. Set the default user and click Next. Now let's create the HR registration form. Add the Confirm Request registration field. This will be a Yes/No field. Mark it as required and save it. The second field will be number of working days during the holiday. Mark the field as required, then click Save. Next, let's add a Comments field, which will be a text area. Click Save. Once you finish creating the final step, click Next, then Publish. Before completing the process definition, you need to select the highlighted variables. Choose 1 to 3 variables that should appear on the process card. Let's select User, Position, and Date range. Click Save. Your process is now complete. From this moment on, it will be available in the organization's process list and ready to use.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and join us in the next episode.